Some arguments are worth entering and some arguments are not. The majority of the arguments are completely useless, and it's because of who you're arguing with. Good morning, champ. Welcome to Chief here, professional problem solver, coming to you live for another episode of Wake and Make. Today, we're going to talk about arguments. Look, I used to love arguments, and I wanted to be a lawyer. So part of being a lawyer is being able to argue your point. I grew up listening to arguments between my parents, so I kind of became a master at a very early age. What I want to talk to you about today is how to actually avoid the argument, how to diffuse the argument, because you need to choose between being right and losing the relationship, or being wrong but winning the relationship, winning the friendship. You're either gonna eat from the tree of life or the tree of knowledge. Some arguments are worth entering and some arguments are not. The majority of the arguments are completely useless, and it's because of who you're arguing with. Is this person a reasonable person, someone that allows, growth and allows opinions, or someone who would not change no matter what you say? There are some stubborn people that are just very opinionated and they don't want to allow any other opinions. So who's in front of you? Is this even worth spending your time? Moving on to the second rule. Listen, understand, acknowledge, and then respond with your statement. Follow that order. I mean, the biggest reason for big arguments is just miscommunication, misunderstanding, two people that don't want to listen to each other. When two big egos are arguing, almost no one is listening. Somebody has to listen. Make sure it's you. Rule number 3, don't increase your tone and don't change your body language. A lot of people raise their voice and they feel that the louder they speak, the more they're winning the argument. They would just like, and then the other person would stop and they're like, oh, the more I scream, the more the other person stops to argue with me. So that's not a solution. And by the way, it's not a position of power or authority to scream like a crazy person, okay? Sometimes you would do this and you would say, calm down, but your body language suggests that you're not even calm. So make sure your body language aligns with your state of mind. Rule number 4, try to understand the other person's emotions. Always extend the benefit of the doubt. What if they're going through a terrible day? Just extend grace. Extend grace before you even try to understand the argument. Just make a decision that no matter what they're arguing about, you're just going to forgive them. Rule number 5, one of my biggest pet peeves. Don't bring old stuff into the argument. Don't bring old mistakes into the argument. This is just terrible. It happens between significant others all the time, or siblings. Bringing old things to our argument is just like you trying to rob the house where I used to live in. I mean, even if you succeed, I've moved on. I don't live there anymore, so you can't really hurt me. Rule number 6, very surprising, but trust me, it's the most and humble thing you can do, and probably the wisest thing you can do. Make them feel that they won the argument. Yep, I said that. Make them feel that they won the argument, because if you make them feel that they won the argument and then later on they come back and they apologize, then you really won the argument in a very nice way. But if you make them feel like they're winning and they raise their nose and they don't apologize, then you dodged the bullet, all right? If this is the end of your relationship, wow, you took the least amount of damage. All right, so let's make it a great day, and let's make sure we avoid arguments today.